All right. Let's start with DXY here. So starting on to the monthly chart here, we can see that we have quite some resistance. So a zone of resistance over here. Let's just place that one on the chart. Then we have the monthly order block over here. So that is something that we are, or where we might travel towards in the future. But currently, what I mainly see is that we took previous month high, straight into the golden pocket. Okay, we are still above this liquidity level. So for this chart to move towards the liquidity here, we should move below this level over here, but currently we are still beyond this level, so this means that is still bullish. We are still making higher lows on the monthly, so that is still intact. So I will have to go on to the weekly chart here. This move was quite impressive. We are currently beyond all these highs over here, which I do call a liquidity zone as well. As we can see that we have this weekly order block here. So that is the last up candle before this move to the downside here. So I still kind of want to see this one reversing. If it continues higher, then we have this monthly order block as resistance and this liquidity level. But for this week, what do I want to see for a reversal next week? Is we are kind of slowing down for 1, 2, 3, 4 candles right now into this weekly order block, into this red zone of resistance. So this is quite good. But I would like to end this week showing a bearish engulfing candle to the downside. That would be the optimal candle close on the weekly, so that we can see next week for a lower high and then the move down. So then we have the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder. That would be perfect for our trades. And then we target, if I go back onto the monthly, I would like to target this zone here. That was the last down move. So that would be the monthly order block. Let's see where the liquidity is at. Yeah, you can see the pause here. And then eventually maybe below this zone, but let's just see if it can reverse. Because on the daily, we do have this break-in market structure. Let me just close this for a moment. So we have the higher low, the failure to reach higher. Target was this low, so we already have this one taken. So then the Fips are holding this as a resistance for now. So here as well, we do have this impulsive move higher, came back into this daily fair value gap after taking liquidity. So we have a liquidity grab over here, liquidity grab over here. So it's indecisive whether it wants to move higher or lower. But basically, for now, this left shoulder hit and right shoulder is still active. And then I would have a target of the minus dot 25, and then we will see what happens, because this chart is really difficult. If we do continue higher, like I said, a new reversal pattern might be, we might see that one over here. Onto the 4 hourly, what do we see right now? So clear rejection again of that golden pocket. And as well here we have the left shoulder the hit and the right shoulder straight into this 4 hourly order block. But yeah, very sideways, indecisive, but I do think that it is a good candidate for a move lower. If we then go to Euro USD over here. Let me just start fresh on that one. The monthly. Took this liquidity level over here. So the target was the liquidity over here. So once it takes liquidity below, comes back inside, the root of this move was over here. But I would like to target this one on a higher time frame too. We do have a break of a structure. So that was our key level. So we do have a break of your structure. Quite an impressive candle over here, leaving a fair value gap. This price might still be going back towards that level. Overall support is basically where we are at the moment. So you do really want to hold this level as a support. If I even go into the yearly chart, we can see this yearly support. That's quite big. You do not want to lose that. And definitely not below this low, because then we should target the low here again. So I am quite confident that we should seek a bounce here as well. Although, yeah, we can have this monthly fair value gap on the chart as well. But we do have our monthly support level. The weekly, what do we see? Well, if this week ends like this, then yeah, definitely bullish. That's definitely a good sign. So we have the weeks slowing down, 1, 2, 3, 4th week in a row, and then we will have a bullish engulfing candle. So we have still till tomorrow. If that happens, next week we will be searching for, so we have this weekly candle. Let's say it closes around here. What do I want to seek? Most likely a move back down and then the move higher towards that key level. Or on the monthly, you can see that we well, maybe This is the monthly order block over here, but you can see this as a whole, so this is going to be quite some resistance. As this was a previous monthly, we fell through of that. So previous monthly didn't act as a support, which means that it might act as a resistance in the future. Especially with this key level over here. So that would be the first target. But of course, I kind of want to see a full-blown reversal. We'll see about that. But yeah, after all those weeks on the downside, it can explosively move back higher. So onto the daily chart here. Currently, what do we see? A beautiful left shoulder ahead, right shoulder. Let me just close this. So still with the target of that minus dot 105. So that is still going to be my target here. And what we actually did today was bouncing from this daily order block. And I was in this long, but like I said on Twitter, I'm not really in sync with the markets or focused with my entries, and that needs to be better. But yeah, I was looking at this support zone. As you can see as well here, you have clean resistance, support, 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 support. And then we had on the 4-hour chart, it slowed down 1, 2, 3, 4, and you had this both of these green candles inside, so that would have given the trigger for a long. Okay. So with this, we have the target of minus dot 25 still at this monthly level. And here as well, we have the left shoulder, the head, and then the same setup over here. So now I am expecting, or what I expect on the daily, is a powerful move higher. So that's what I need. And then from here, a move back down into this structure over here. That would be giving the golden pocket as well. And then we can seek for another long, a higher. So that is something that I'm looking at. Unless the market decides not to go through. But yeah, if the weekly closes like this, then that would be very, very bullish. Okay, so everything is in place for a reversal, but like I said, anything can still happen. We can still continue higher too, and then we'll be stopped out if you're in a long. Let's check the GBP chart over here. If the music is too loud, you can say that as well. So on the monthly chart, what do we see? Firstly, I want to see where my support and resistance is. Yeah, basically huge support here. You see those wicks over here. And then if we zoom in here, as well, a huge level of support. And yes, they do work pretty well. Same thing if you were over here. Let's say you were over here. You had this support zone from previously. You can see that it actually bounced up until resistance over here. So on the higher time frame, support and resistance do work. What you have to do then is to watch and see how it reacts to that level. So now on to the monthly chart. We took this liquidity, so this is the external liquidity. So eventually we are seeking this equal highs, I would say. But for now, we went straight into this fair value gap above these highs. It failed to move higher, so we target the root of this move, which is actually still a bit lower. Although I don't think that the market will fall to that level, but we have this monthly support here, and that's where the liquidity is at. Okay, so same like here, you have this monthly level, and here it didn't really take out this high, but it did tap into this level. So we still have that one open. I do want to check onto another chart if that is the case as well. So yeah, here we do have the same thing, and here we do have the same. So back to the chart. Knowing this, price might still find its way a bit lower. Although keep in mind that this is a high SR level, and would like to take this level as we wicked here, and then we have some deviations. So onto the weekly chart. What do we see here? We bounced from the imbalance over here. As you can see, this was still an open imbalance, and that's where we actually bounced from. Below this liquidity level, bounced, tapped into this liquidity level again, and rejected. So for now, this one is actually still kind of looking bearish, although we have weekly support resistance. So it's definitely a zone of support and resistance. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 candles right now, slowing down on the weekly, tapping into this. So yeah, this is kind of getting slower. So if we do have a weekly bullish candle, then I would look for longs next week as well. So I do really want to see something like this, a bit beyond this level here, and then our target would be on the weekly beyond this liquidity level over here. Do we have? So yeah, that is our target or resistance here. As we dropped below this, so this is the last down candle before the up move. We moved past through that. So this is called a breaker. So this is your target on the monthly. If we do flip bullish, but you have to wait on the weekly here. If we go onto the daily, and just know that we have this monthly level here as well. So it would be higher probability for me to long this one below this liquidity level. But yeah, let's just say that tomorrow is bullish as well. We go into the daily chart. We do have the same setup. Left shoulder hit, right shoulder currently. It moved below these equal lows as liquidity grab. And it kind of looks like Euro USD, whereas our target would be the -0.25. You can see bounced here, bounced here, bounced here. So you really want to hold this level. So on the daily chart, this is not exactly too bullish yet. Onto the 4-hourly. We tapped into this zone, took liquidity, and now we are currently reversing beyond this liquidity level. So it has to stay above that liquidity level here to move towards the equal highs here. And that would give you a bullish daily candle. So it's really important right now that we can continue higher, bouncing from this liquidity level. That would be very great. And tomorrow we would have this break in market structure. You could see this as the left shoulder, the hit, and then potential move back inside for a move higher, but it's still quite early, and I would rather long this when I see how this weekly actually closed, because yeah, I think it might still be heading a bit lower. Then I have Australian dollar Canadian on. The way I'm looking at this chart, is basically still holding support. You see this wick over here, the wicks over here, wicks over here, wicks over here. Huge monthly support. Okay, you do not want to lose this. What else? We took liquidity from this high. We target the root of this level that was over here. So there was not a lot of resistance in this move, so it moved quite heavily to the downside. So if we can find our reversal, where do we target? We target above these highs over here into the monthly order block over here. That's where the liquidity is at. You see those levels over here. So we are at a huge SR level. We have the market slowing down. 1, 2, 3, let's say 4. If this week ends rather bullish with an engulfing candle, we kind of have like a double bottom, and then the target would be over here. So on the weekly, we could seek longs as it will be moving towards this zone. So that would mean that you are in sync with the market if you know where it's headed. So if you know where it's headed, then you can make entries on the daily chart. So here we have the break from this SR level. Back into this daily order block. Having the left shoulder de-hit the right shoulder. And here that first target would be as well the minus of 25. The 4-hourly chart. Somewhat the same. Left shoulder hit, then the right shoulder over here, bouncing from this daily order block, although it did not tap into this lower golden pocket yet. But yeah, this seems to be going in our direction. We have a small order block here, so you would like to tap it and then move higher. That would be best case scenario. And you do have some support over here. So you wick, 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 wick. So even if it taps back into this zone, I'm expecting a move higher. Okay, so into the Swiss, I thought that we might have that we might bounce over here, but we just tapped into this monthly order block, and then the next month we came back to where it started. So we have this monthly SR, and then we have close by the liquidity level. So still very bearish. Can we find some support though? Well, here you can see the support. That's also at the weekly. So anyways, here we will have to wait for probably a couple weeks to slow down into this weekly level. Maybe take and grab the low. Then we might seek a bounce, because this one was going down quite fast. Here you had a typical left shoulder hit, right shoulder setup ahead of or beyond the liquidity. So you were beyond liquidity into the monthly order block, left shoulder hit, right shoulder, and then the sell-off all the way to the downside. So onto the daily, we have to slow down on the 4-hourly as well. Maybe if it taps this weekly and it slows down a little on the 4-hourly and on the daily, I might take that long back to this monthly level, and then we'll see how it goes. So yeah, definitely on my watch list as well at this weekly support, sorry. NZD Canadian. As I think that Australian Canadian is bullish, we might seek the same from NZD Canadian. So again, here we start onto the monthly chart. You look at the wicks here. You see, it wicks over here, it wicks, and it bounces. So this is a high support. Next to this level, we have a move taking out the high, leaving this monthly order block. So you have SR slash or adding monthly order block. Now, the weekly is still, or the monthly is still showing downside movements. So we have to go into the weekly. So what do we know about reversals? If it goes quickly like that, it is sometimes very easy to target the lows here again. So you need to be careful with such moves, as there is almost no support in these moves. But what I do see is all those wicks over here. Giving me a support zone. So on the weekly, we are still heading lower. What do you want to see next week? Maybe grab of previous week low and then the move up, somewhat giving you that engulfing weekly candle. In this, you can find on the daily and on the 4 hourly the left shoulder and the right shoulder, maybe with an order block as well. So that is something that I will be looking for. I will be focusing more on the candle closes on the weekly and on the daily, and if the market slows down at a particular level. So here we are still moving down and we are currently bouncing from this daily support. So we have daily SR within support. So on to the 4 hourly. I tried to slow down into the zone 1, 2, 3, but I'm not really calling this slowing down. It's really just bouncing from this daily. So right now I'm not really interested in that one, but yeah, we'll have to see how this daily candle ends. And maybe tomorrow, if it has another go, something like that would be nice. And then next week we could have that engulfing candle, then a move back down and then higher. So yeah, I'm definitely looking for a potential move higher here. So place some alerts, but we have to wait a bit on that one. NZD USD. This monthly order block from previously, as you can see here, it's the last time it hits that monthly order block. So the last down candle before the up move, it bounced pretty hard. We have a deviation now, bounced again, and now we are back at this level. So this is quite a big zone. Given that this is also the EQ of this red candle before the move higher, so this is also a support zone. After this one I will do Bitcoin. On the weekly, it is still moving down. And we have the weekly order block here and some support, as you can see. Rejection, support, support. So for me, if DXY decides to go lower, then this would be the next stop. Of course, we can bounce here as well. We are below this liquidity level, but it has to slow down. Like I said, I do not see this currently as a reversal, so it needs more time. Of course, and DXY has to join to the downside. Let's just check Bitcoin here. Let's go start fresh. So here you had the same pattern, left shoulder ahead, right shoulder here. So where are we heading? This was a previous liquidity level. High resistance. And this was the last up candle before the move higher. We breached that one, so that's the breaker. High support could potentially lead to resistance. Onto the weekly chart. So like I said, very high level of resistance, but it's trying to push through. It's trying to push through with a target of potentially this liquidity level over here. We still have to tap that one. We went below this liquidity level, came back inside, meaning that we should target the root. So my target would still be here. And then my bet is that it actually will go to this breaker and then find a rejection over there. The weekly, quite bullish. Also, if we do end this like this, that's quite bullish. If we stay like that. The rejection, though, cannot be denied. Market structure, you have the higher low, the higher low. Here you have somewhat the same like the XY, so it takes the high, takes the low, moves higher, grabs liquidity from this low, grabs liquidity from this high, grabs liquidity from this low, and into this it just grabbed some liquidity from all those highs here and this weekly SR. So that's why we actually rejected that level. You can say monthly, weekly, SR. So this is where the liquidity is at. If it does fall or reject to the downside, we do not have a break in market structure yet. It just wicks below. You have the higher high, higher low, higher high, a higher low. This will become a weekly level of support. So if it wants to continue higher, we have this weekly order block here. Let me just check if there are any volume point of controls open. Kind of want to buy in here. I do not see any trade right now. Yeah, so the weekly is quite important. As you can see here, it slowed down for 1, 2, 3, 4 candles. You had one red candle in here, and that caused the sell-off. And here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles slowing down, weekly slowdown, the up candle, and that caused the up move. Here as well, you have the market slowing down, the market slows down, 1, 2, 3, 4. You have an up candle, the move higher. So currently it's quite impulsive to the upside here, quite tricky to trade in the uptrend still, but I wouldn't really say with confidence whether we would fall lower or seek that liquidity over here. Yeah, I would like this zone to hold as support. As you can see here as well, it wicks. A lot of wicks here, and I would like to take something, yeah, like this zone. So if it can move back to this level, I would like an entry for a long. But yeah, currently it can stay quite bullish too. We did enter, or I did not enter, but I added this potential long over here in the group. I thought it was, I think it was over here or over here, at the low for a move towards this high. So this trade is actually done. So yeah, I can only see trade right there for now. Gold. Very bullish candle. Here you have to use the higher time frame, so that was the liquidity level. You have all these equal highs that we might target, as we did that liquidity grab over here. So having the monthly here, just close this. That's where the resistance is. You kind of want to pinpoint where most wicks are. I would say this. This is going to be my high SR level. So we currently bounce from this monthly support. That's what I was looking for in the group. We received that bounce. We have the lower high, and we now have again this monthly SR. Again. With the liquidity up there. Market structure is still intact to the bullish side. Now last week, so I did miss my entry. I was looking for this long for a long time. I added it in the group, the chart that we should look at this monthly, also on Twitter, and we received a huge move from that monthly level. You can actually see the tap of this weekly SR and then how it actually acted. So we have this weekly SR, and then you go into the daily, and you can see within this zone price is slowing down. You have 1, 2, 3. If you have like 3 candles slowing down and then one bullish candle tapping this with an engulfing candle beyond those 3, then you might expect a bullish move. And even on the 4-hourly here, a lot of slowing down here. Okay, so here you have the move up, and then ICT says this is your order block. Okay, and then you should wait for a move back into this order block, and it never happened. So even here, maybe on a lower time frame, it might have happened on a lower time frame, but it would be very tricky to enter. So you should look at the markets on a 4-hourly and on a daily chart, if it slows down and then wait for 3 candles and a bullish one, then you can actually move back higher. So let's just say that we do this right now for charts here. We have our a high resistance zone. Where is lots of resistance in here. Huge bullish move, break of that key level over here, so it can definitely continue higher. But if it starts to hit those levels here, slows down, then you look for that left shoulder hit, right shoulder, and then the move back down lower. As this was quite impressive, and as you can see, such moves mostly die off pretty quickly, and it's quite easy to go back down because there is not a lot of support in this candle. So there's not a lot of support in this candle, and the same thing said over this down move. That's why I was looking for that up move. I was saying on Twitter, I'm looking for a impressive, a powerful candle to the upside, because there is no resistance in this down move, so it can quickly move higher. So that is potentially a short in here, but for now, no trade. I'd like to look at oil. So we have, let's have a look if I have another chart of that one. What do we see? It took liquidity on a higher time frame, the monthly. We still have this monthly. I would say that this is the order block. So now that it took liquidity, where is the liquidity? Lower. And I think it is possible for a move back lower. This was quite powerful to the upside, but as you can see there, I don't think that there is a lot of support there. So my potential setup here is the left shoulder, the right shoulder, also here left shoulder, and then the move down. But on the weekly, we are currently at this level. It's rejecting, and I'm seeking on a lower time frame if it is possible for it to move towards the -.22, where we do have our liquidity level, but most liquidity is here. You can see this weekly SR. So I have to be in sync with the market for patterns and for moves to work out. And that's how I'm currently doing it on the higher time frames. And it's important that we do have the right direction towards the eye over here in the weekly. So I will be seeking shorts. Okay, so onto the daily chart. I will be seeking shorts, but I will have the daily chart to tell me if it is possible or not. We have this daily OB, the last up candle before the down move, acting as resistance right now. So we have 1, 2, 3 candles right now. That would be the fourth one, moving slower. You can see this, that it's slowing down. So maybe tomorrow or next week If I see like another red candle, I would like to take this short to the downside, given that this is the left shoulder hit and the right shoulder. That would be a perfect trade towards the low here, the weekly, and eventually lower. So give that one an alert as well. But no entry for now. As you can see that we are slowing down, but it's not exactly what I'm expecting here. We still have this key level, higher low, higher low, higher low. This is still intact, so we can still continue higher. But it's something that we should be looking at. Euro Australian, sorry. Let me just start fresh here as well. What do we see on the higher time frames? Monthly order block. And a grab of liquidity. Also at a high level of support and resistance, as you can see here, this wick on the left. That is going to be my SR level. It starts straight at the beginning over here. And as you can see, it works the trade-off. You can see here on the monthly the bounce, here even that wick here, rejected, you can short, you can short, you can short over here, you can short. So even if you have this line alone on the chart, you can actually seek some trades. Now the deviation, now back into this zone. Having market structure still intact, weekly, market structure still intact, higher low, higher low. It went to seek liquidity within all these wicks over here. So I am not seeking a short yet. Although, as you can see, rejected, weekly level, support. So I will be looking for the market to hit this weekly level and then see if we have next week a red candle. If so, I will look for the right shoulder here and then the move down. On the lower time frames, you might want to scalp, but I'm looking for swing trades right now. What can you see over here? That was actually our structural frameworks pattern. Left shoulder hit, right shoulder towards the -.25. So you have the 1, 2, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and now the fifth one moving towards the -.25. And then here again we look for a potential slowdown of the chart. And that would be great if Australian dollar could gain more strength when it hits that level for a move lower. Yeah, I was looking at Euro NZD. On the monthly, we still have like a monthly level over here. You can see the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder. The 1, 2, 3, 4, so that's 5. With it hitting that minus doxed 65. So it rejected that minus 65, went looking for liquidity, but it failed to grab liquidity from either of these lows actually. So that would be the target here if it falls down. Having this monthly SR. Monthly is still bullish, weekly is still bullish, so it has to slow down first. But we are currently at this weekly order block. Having the break of this low. Having the equal lows here. That is a valid trade that we should be looking at. But this weekly candle is still bullish. 1, 2, 3 right now. Third week, maybe we can have something like this next week. So that would mean that I'm also looking for a short here on this chart on the Euro NZD, if possibly. As this is quite a steep up move, which means that there is not a lot of support inside this move. Going on to the daily and 4 hourly, we need to slow down. So maybe if we have 1, 2, 3, 4 candles slowing down here, then I might enter that short. So this is definitely something that we should be looking for as well, as a high resistance level. All the way back towards this eye over here. I really like this setup. And maybe even towards this 65, so I will share this one. Maybe even tomorrow. Watch this 4 hourly chart. First, we need some type of slowdown. All right. Maybe. Okay, this was a very nice setup that I was looking at. Still kind of looking at this one, so let me just start fresh with this one. Because I really want to show why that I'm seeking this one, potentially. So we start on the monthly chart. And this is going to be my first support and resistance level. But I'd like to take it a bit higher. Like that, as you can see, bounced wick, 2 wicks over here. This is also called a liquidity level because we are beyond this one. Trying to move back below. What do we see? A higher low, trying, but we do have a break right now. So that was our key level. Okay, this move was rather sharp, which means that it can move back down sharply as well, as there is not a lot of support within this. Or it will be easier to move lower. Onto the weekly chart. You can see all those wicks over here. So with both of these wicks over here, that is going to be my box of resistance. See on a monthly. Okay. I'm going to take this pip. You can start over here as well. And then we have that weekly OB here. So, but I do not really want to see it back higher, because then I will be seeking that high. So I'm just going to take this, having the left shoulder here, the break over here, within the fair value gap here, the weekly slowdown, so it's trying to slow down, but the weekly currently is still moving higher. Onto the daily chart, we have this golden pocket, daily order block here, the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder. So that is currently looking fine. For a move back below this -.25, -65, but we have to wait onto the 4-hourly chart to give some more confirmation. I do like it currently, but I'm not convinced yet, because it is bouncing from this SR and this liquidity level. So once we go below this support level, as you can see, rejection here, some rejections over here. So it's a really, really important level. If it can move below that one, I know I'll be looking for a short down. So this has the ingredients for a short, but the daily right now is still bullish. So you have to wait for a daily bearish candle. And the same goes for UPNZD. UPCHF or Swiss, currently below liquidity level. And we have this weekly order block here. And the EQ of that order block. So here as well, we can see this zone as a support zone that might flip bullish. But we have to wait for a slowdown as well. This one is having a hard time, not really interested in trading. Australian dollar, USD Canadian, sorry. Still bullish, we have to wait. And then to end this one, I am looking for Canadian GPY to short. Although we have some, or quite a bullish wick, but still a higher time frame SR level. If this week ends like this, then we might slow down a little bit more and see that move to the downside. We are currently below this liquidity level. We have a break in market structure on the daily chart. So this really has all the ingredients for a move lower. Having this weekly daily order block here as well, but my target would be lower as well. And that would align with Australian dollar Canadian that moves higher. I think this is like the best looking chart or setup, although the markets are really tough right now. But yeah, we have the weekly SR here. We have the daily break over here, the move back into golden pocket, and it did not grab any liquidity over here from these lows. We are below this liquidity level. This move does not has many supports. We have the break of the daily over here, so you have the left shoulder the hit, the right shoulder. Even if it moves a bit higher right now, then I am looking for something like this back lower. Yep. So maybe now we could see a little move higher, slow down here on the 4-hourly, see how it reacts, and then we have that move to the downside. That's really something that I'm looking for. Also, let's have a look at this daily order block here and this breaker over here. Yeah, I'm really looking at this short here. So as tricky as it is, I'm still seeking that short on the dollar and Euro USD to continue towards my monthly level. So that is where I will end this live stream. It is tough right now. It is, the market's a bit all over the place, but yeah, I currently see potential for a reversal, and that's what I'm looking at and looking for in the market. So we'll see how it ends this week, how the weekly candles ends, and then I will make my analysis in the weekend and make my plans for next week. So I will see you next week, and I will be back on YouTube for a live stream then. Bye.